All right. Hey, here we go. Live again. Mr. Stacey Wyatt, what's going on, man?
And just living the good life, buddy. Just got a nice suntan in Mexico and back to this crazy real estate market. How about you?
Oh man, life is good. I don't think I'll ever get a tan, but I would have loved to go to Mexico. Speaking of, you just got back from a phenomenal event down in Cabo that Mr. Brent Gove put on. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, the first event I ever went to at EXP was put on by Brent, who's one of the early EXP agents and former KW Market Center owner. I think he owned 3 market centers, KW Market Centers in Roseville, California. Mm-hmm. And he saw the opportunity that was EXP and sold them off and came over. He came over pretty early. And so he had sponsored a big event in Vegas about 20 months ago. It was right pre-Rona. Because I think I've been at EXP 18 months now. And it was a fantastic event. I got to meet a lot of great agents. And then there was a lot of content, kind of like a mini mastermind that were a lot of tactical stuff. So that was my first introduction. And there's about 300 people at that event. And then this one ended up probably one of the single best events I've ever been to, put on by a real estate group or company. And man, it was fantastic. Now this one was about, company's grown quite a bit. So there's about 700 people at this one, which obviously at the resort is a little bit, with Mexico still fighting a little bit of Rona, it was limited a little bit, but nonetheless, man, it was a fantastic event. I flew in on a Sunday, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, actually Sunday night, there was a big evening event. And then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, they had content packed from 9 to 1 every single day. So it was cool, man. It was great catching up with a lot of agents throughout the country and seeing what everybody's doing with, kind of within the EXP opportunities. So yeah, it's fan. Then I stayed 2 extra days and got on a yacht on Thursday, and that was amazing. That was incredible, and came back Friday. So, got a little sun on this white bones and feeling pretty good. So it's good to be, it was a great trip, man. Like, it was fantastic. But it's nice to be back.
Well, I mean, I saw a lot of pictures. I saw a lot of in the different groups we're in. People renting these huge yachts and hanging out, and Grant Cardone hanging out down there. But I've noticed, not just lately, but since you joined EXP, even before I joined, how excited that you've been, like almost reinvigorated, like from the beginning, man. Tell us about that.
I've been thinking a lot about that, because everybody says, like, man, like I tell people, I haven't had this much fun since I've been in real estate. Now, granted, I got in the real estate market in 2009 when it was crazy, but it's been a great ride up. It's funny because at this event, it was everybody's so pumped and so energized. And I've seen that at other events from other companies, but it was just something different. And I really put my finger on it. And quite honestly, there wasn't just 700 real estate agents at this event. There was 700 owners of a real estate company at this event. Right. Every single person there, every EXP agent that has sold one house has ownership in EXP. And that's what I put it to, right? Like, when you own a company, you're fully invested in that company. Like, you want to see that do well, and you want everybody in that company to do well. So as I've thought about it, I'm just like, dude, it's exciting being an owner of a company. And I think you and I have had conversations on that, right, in the past, about we've built these successful teams and they've been great, and we serve our community, we serve the agents that are on our teams and have been around us. But you and I also, like, we're not spring chickens per se. So, we're looking around and watching other very successful business people, and we're like, they own assets, right? They own assets. And if we put it in real estate terms, an asset would be a brokerage or a market center.
Right.
That's a passive income, meaning I'm a part owner in a market center and I get money every month, right? Provided it's a profitable venture, I get a check every month for my percent ownership. Well, for agents in that model, they don't have ownership, right? They're out selling houses and they're only as good as their next sale, right? They start over every month. Well, when the EXP opportunity popped up, it took me a hot minute to figure out kind of how it was structured. But then I was like, I'm going to reach my goal of owning a passive income stream, in the fact of I'm going to own a portion of this brokerage. Yeah. So doing what I've always done, which is helping people buy, sell houses, invest, right? For meeting certain production goals, or helping the company grow by inviting agents to the company, or, you know, a couple other different things, capping, you're able to earn stock. And majority of it, they give it to you based on just doing what we've always done, buying and selling, right? But now I'm an owner. So my mindset's completely different. It's like, I want every single person in this company to do well. Yeah. Because the stock goes up, we all win. And that's just one piece. So to answer your question, to me, I've put my finger on the fact that things happen differently when you have ownership. You take a much different role in the company. And so, and there's 700 owners I was, you know, elbow to elbow with, sharing everything, referrals, talking about the business. So the ownership piece, man, is like, if that doesn't get you excited.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, well, you know, I've always said the joke, what real estate agents don't retire, you know, they just die. Yeah. And one of my new favorite one is, which is true. It's like, Mike, how many agent retirement parties have you been to? Literally, like, how many have you been to?
That many.
I think it's called a funeral, right?
That's right. the last one.
Yeah, so that's sad. So in that sense, that's why I think the financial engineering, the way EXP structured their company is brilliant, because they're giving all their agents equity, which to me is like the most important thing when you're really looking at it from trying to develop a passive income stream. So yeah, I boil it down to having skin in the game, baby.
Well, I want to take that back, unpack it a little bit, what you said about ownership, because you and I, when we opened our mega offices with our former brokerage, we went through the process, franchise systems orientation, the same process you go to when you purchase a market center.
Correct.
And we both found out, once we got in there, that owning a market center or a piece of a market center is not just a cumbersome is the nice word for it. It's a very difficult task. You can't just throw a bunch of money at it and get a market center. Correct. And to get one, even if you have a bunch of money, it seems like you kind of have to be in line or be in the club, because there's a big waiting list to get it. And unless they're going to open up another, open up another one, you've got to buy into one that's already there. And the financial investment was tremendous, and the time was tremendous. And it's not, and the return on that investment was not that great over the long haul, sure, but you own this big, huge asset, this huge building and this huge business that's giving you passive, but you look at what you put into what you're getting out. It's not the same. What are your thoughts on that?
And to your point, though, that investment is littered with risk, right? Massive risk.
All kinds of risk.
When you're owning a brick and mortar and and all the stuff, like, I've talked to multiple franchise owners, even oddly enough in Mexico on their past, when the one gentleman owned, I think 4 or 5 in California, and they went through 08, 09, 10, and he ended up having to sell them all off. It was a massive risk to own those also. So not only the 1,200-page document I signed that, hell, I didn't want to hire a lawyer. It probably cost me more to have the lawyer review the document. But it's layered with risk. So that was the other thing as I started thinking through, did I even really want to own one of those brick and mortars after, I'm a business guy, I do my work, my homework, due diligence. The return on investment for the layers of risk just didn't make sense to me at the time, especially as fast as the world changed. And Rona proved that, right? Like everything changed in March of 2020.
We would be owning a whole lot of blockbusters right about now if we did that. Exactly. I'm glad we didn't, because it was, and a lot of the guys and ladies that we're talking to, that we're networking and marketing, masterminding with right now, had different full brokerages, individual brokerages, owned multiple market centers, and they sold them all. Yeah, it got out, and now that, like you said, ownership of EXP, as soon as you close a deal, you get stock, and then all the stock that you've already capped and become Icon. I'm on my way to Icon, where you get all of your cap back in company stock. Yeah. And I don't know. You said you had, I don't know how many shares you got now. A lot.
A little over 2,000 shares, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. From just being in production.
Yeah. Just doing what I've always done. And
same thing. Yeah.
They set up some milestones. There's a lot of competitive people in the real estate space, and I'd already capped at my broker, and instead of cap managing, which means they would have just held my cap to my next anniversary year. Because I told you that, I was like, I decided just to go. I wanted Icon. Like, I want that damn Icon award.
They said, I
got this sexy little thing right here, right?
Yeah.
That was awesome, and I love this. But the thing that was better than this, they gave me $16,000 that I paid in my cap back into company stock.
Yeah.
And at the time, that stock was trading at $8. Today, it's 30. So I enjoyed a little write up on that stock too. But hey, that's the benefit of being an owner. Stock's gonna go up, stock's gonna go down. However, I'm being rewarded. I'm an owner of the company now, which is awesome, right? It's another income stream.
Well, you and I, that when you showed me that little trophy, you and I have together probably a whole room full of those that we've got over the years for our production. And
I got all those over there.
And the plaques and at other brokerages, like that's all you get. And it's nice to be recognized, and I feel very blessed to be able to do that. But with EXP, you get one of those little plaques and a trophy, but you get money with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like real money.
Oh, I always show this one. So when I got mine, it was like this was happening, man. So yeah, I mean, it's funny to laugh, but it's real, man. It's like, it's real dough. And it's like the mission of our company has been, and actually after, hanging out with you and Casey, I think we all have kind of that very similar mission, is that we want to help people grow generational wealth, right? Not only for, our teams, our clients, but also our families. And man, think about this. And that, like, I'm not even touching that stock. Like, I'm not even touching it. I know people have taken, I know agents that were in early and the stock was 50 cents and they've made a lot of money on it. But they're buying investment properties. They're paying for kids. Like, it's real. It's the real deal. And for me, my goal is just to leave it sit, let it grow. It's going to do whatever it's going to do.
Yeah.
And that just becomes something that I can bless people with down the road, whether it's if I have to use a kid's college, whatever it may be. But it's real money, and it's awesome because we're owners of and it changes everything in my mind on how a company's run, is because all your agents are true owners of the company.
Well, it's the glue that ties the whole thing together, because and that's what, we'll go into the whole mastermind thing that we're talking about in a minute, but there's so much business in whatever we'll talk about Atlanta. There's so much business. In Roswell.
Yeah.
And if you help everybody grow in the same company, if you help everybody grow, the whole company grows. What happens? The stock goes up. It's just it's common sense. And a lot of people are always right here. They don't want to share anything. When you give what you know and you just give it away, you get way more back every time. Now, you've done that. You taught a lot of classes. I've taught classes, not as many as you, but you taught a lot of classes to agents all through the last brokers. Is that right?
Yeah. I estimated a little over 100 classes for sure.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. I mean, I love pouring into agents, right?
Yeah.
And it helped me learn and become a little bit of a better leader, and how to, those that, I think to learn a topic, to develop mastery, you need to be able to teach it also. So yeah. But, I didn't get compensated for it. I mean, maybe if I felt good about it, but not through any compensation method or whatsoever. And as I look across the real estate space, you and I both know over the last, 24 months, the whole conversation's been around tech, right?
Yeah.
And, Remax buying whatever that piece of software was. And I mean, hell, their stock's gone down since then. Gary Keller's had to come out and say, hey, Command, it was a behemoth, what we were trying to do. It's got some bugs. We got to fix that. And, and they let Josh go. And then you've got Compass, who, they've got a pretty website and some other stuff, but tech's not the piece that is, in my view, and it's kind of proven out right now, is not the piece that's going to change this business. We still need to stick in the X's and O's of real estate. I think the brilliant thing that Glenn did, which is, Glenn Sanford, who is the CEO of the company, and by the way, one of the most humble human beings I've ever met, he literally sat in the first row. And I'll get back to my thing. He sat on the first row every single day. And this wasn't even Brent Gove. Is just, he was an agent that's attracted a lot of agents. So this was just an agent huddle, agent owner huddle. But Glenn was there every day. And the amount of people that went by him after they walked off to the stage that thanked the CEO for setting the company is like, how many people even like their CEO of many corporate companies? He's the most hated person in the face of the earth. And every single person was thanking Glenn for the opportunities created. Because honestly, on paper, he's created more millionaires than probably any real estate company. Those were his. Oh
man, by far, yeah. The people that were in the beginning are hundreds of millionaires.
Yeah, and he had shared that they've already shared back $2 billion with a B, $2 billion in equity to us agents, right?
Yeah.
Through just the stock program alone. So that's amazing to me. But getting back to the point, that's why I think the brilliance of EXP's model is the financial alignment, the financial engineering through not only stock, but also revenue share that have completely lined guys like me and you, or Casey Rutherford, or Ray Chafferdine, or Jorge Montilla, or anybody that is in our world. Because when we win, right, everybody wins. We do good, stock goes up, we all win, right?
Yep.
We help agents grow their business. We win through revenue share and stock. Everybody wins. It is the best financial alignment I've ever seen. So that's why I think all that energy in Mexico is like off the charts, because people are actually seeing it now. The company's grown. I mean, when the first time I spoke to EXP, there was 8,000 agents. That was 2.5 years ago. I joined 18 months ago when there's about 18,000 agents. And as today we sit, we're like 52,000 agents, and we're growing by about 1,000 a week, which is insane.
Oh yeah.
And there's got to be a reason they're coming. It's not a get rich quick. It's not a get rich quick thing. It is a brilliant model that has aligned agents like you and I together that are helping people grow businesses, and that's the exciting part about it. So there's so much opportunity. It is the best. I'll go out there. I mean, hell, this is going to be posted anyway. It's the single best opportunity in the real estate space ever, bar none. And I'll go live and battle anybody on that point, because I know all the models. Been doing it 10 years. I've seen every model. I've had to compete against every model, as you know, in attracting agents when I was in my former role. Bar none, the best opportunity for an agent, because you can be an owner, right? Yeah. You can earn additional revenue through revenue share. The brilliant, I'll just go on all day, so you might as well shut me up at this point. So that's how exciting it is.
2 years ago, because I was introduced to EXP a few years ago, and then you started talking to me, almost 1.5 years ago, and it was still, so busy, and I've got all these listings and all these under contract, and it's going to be such a pain to move, and I got to get new signs and all that. And it wasn't until I had an open mind, and I said, you know what, let me just hear this, just explain it to me. Let's do a deep dive, and then I'll make a decision. Even after you did the deep dive and I got it, it took me about 2 days, and I said, okay, let's do it. I'm doing it. Let's do it. And what I found out, and this is for anybody out there that has one listing or one under contract or 100, the process moving over is so smooth and simple, because we've got the whole blueprint laid out, that you did all the teachable classes. And I tell anybody that I talk to 2 or 3 agents every day, or several a week. Just take a look at it. Just take a look at. I wouldn't move. You wouldn't have moved between us $60 million in annual revenue. Volume. Wouldn't have moved if it would have made sense. Because the train we were on we were just doing just fine. It was.
Well, I wasn't moving over because I was saving $2,000 on my cap either, right?
Exactly. Yes.
And if somebody's watching this and they're thinking they're going to move to save $2,000, well, quite honestly, it's probably this is not the right fit for you, because you don't get it, right? Like this is something completely different. The opportunity is completely different. So yeah, no, I agree with you 100% on that. So
yeah, man, when you were at that mastermind, you and I talked about masterminds locally. You and I talk almost every day.
Yeah.
We're several Facebook groups where we're in a normal mastermind group, and then we're in a higher level, folks that are doing a certain amount of volume. What do you see as far as masterminds here locally in the Atlanta area? What do we have currently? What is out there currently that agents can go to? And what are the plans that we've been talking about?
Yeah. So, in prior years, masterminds end up being, hey, let's read a book and let's chat around that. And, it was great. And we read, my team alone, we do a book. We're always reading a book, Never Split the Difference. I forget which one we're working on now. We just finished Grit. Fierce Conversation. So that's all great. But you and I, had got stuck in our business at the point, like 17, 18 million in volume. And we stuck there for a couple of years, and we'd hit a ceiling, right? And when we went to masterminds, we're like, no, I don't want to read a book. Yeah. I want to know the X's and O's of how to grow a 34, 40, 50, $60 million business, right? So we've all been in, let's call them masterminds.
Yeah.
What have I experienced since is in our Monday fast forward mastermind is people like you and I, some in the group's grown. I mean, I think we were 150 strong on last Monday's call.
Yep.
It is hardcore in the weeds, tactical stuff on how to grow your business, right? And everybody, the whole Monday mastermind is bring your toughest questions. What are your pain points in your business right now? And you've got people on there that have probably been there, done that. Like Dan and Kyle, between Dan and Kyle in San Diego, what are they, like 800 million? Like some stupid number of
something ridiculous. Yeah.
volume. So do you think they've seen the issues that you wake up every day? Yeah. So there's some fantastic agents on there. I'd say they all have different superpowers. Like somebody it's farming, somebody it's billboard, somebody's radio, like all the next level stuff that for whatever reason would always seem to be kept really close to the top agent's chest in the masterminds is now exposed and exposed at a level. For instance, I've been debating radio, right? I think that's the next step for us. And I called Dan Beer. Dan's got, commands billboards and radios in San Diego. He's going to give me what works. I'm not going to have to go out there and pay money and learn what works, right? And pay the price.
The painful process of learning.
Exactly, which is usually expensive, right?
Very expensive, yes.
So I would rather not have to pay 5 digits to learn those, lessons. Through what we call the financial energy EXP, rev share through equity, we're all owners. They just hand it to me. It's like, here you go. This is the playbook. This is what to do. And here's absolutely what not to do, which is game changer. So with that being said, you and I have had such a great experience in that master menu because we do them on Mondays and we have a higher level one on Wednesdays. It's just different problems, right? As your business grows. I mean, you and I were both tinkering, 30-ish million. And now both of us have and we've closed we're both pushing 20 million in the first quarter, right? Which is setting us up for the biggest year by far.
I still having a hard time wrapping my head around it.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I think back and I was like, man, let's get to 8 million. And then it's like 18 million where you and I got stuck twice. And then the biggest goal is, 33.34 million, which gets us to 1 million GCI, which was always a big, hurdle. And then we both got past that. And now it's like, closed I think 18 million, pushing 20 million closed and ended prior to in the first quarter of this year, which, that's third of the year, triple that. You're in the 50 to $60 million range. So things have completely changed and we owe it a lot to the environment that we're in with being able to grow our businesses because we're learning the right things at a much quicker pace. So with that being said, we do have that, we have access to that. I do find a lot of value in local masterminds. And so what we've been talking around is we'd love to create something like that here on a local level to where we bring together, who cares, agents from all brokerages, from all revenue, whether they've sold 2 houses or 2 million houses, a group together to where we can do a true mastermind, right? And have that environment. Like you and I want to share that in our environment where we've been because it's completely changed our businesses. And I'll speak personally, it's changed me on so many different levels. I'm a way better leader. I've learned so much on how to be a better leader, which to me right now is probably more my cup of tea because, we'll learn how to sell more houses, more lead levers, more agents, what have you. The leadership, the relationships has been monstrous. Like I think we've got at least 8 or 9 agent referrals through the EXP network already. So in any event, the goal for the local mastermind would be to pay that forward in sharing that higher level stuff, right? Or plug agents in that maybe are, hey, I'm stuck, I'm sold 4 houses. How do I sell 8, right? But then also to serve agents that are, hey, I'm selling 30 houses, how do I sell 60? Selling 60 houses, how do I sell 120? So to create a local mastermind that we can plug people into that group that we all share and help each other grow their businesses. And listen, this is obviously not for somebody that's got a scarcity mentality, right? That, hey, Stacey and Mike are my competition. They're right down the road. Yeah. Well, that's not the person that's going to benefit from this group. The person that's going to benefit from this mastermind that we're going to start them small and then we'll grow them over time. We've got some big name speakers, not only locally, but nationally that we're going to invite to some of the later ones. The person that's the right fit for this group is somebody like Mike's office is 1 mile from Stacey's office. Stacey's office is 1 mile from Veronica Barash's office. Veronica Barash or Stacey's office is what, maybe 4 miles from Casey Rutherford's office.
Yeah.
And we all share every single thing that we do. I shared my seller magazine, something I'd spent a ton of money to make, put together. It was a really nice game changer for us. Everybody in that group got it, right? So it's for somebody that's got an abundant mentality that realizes there's enough out there for everybody. And the more we bond together to help learn how to serve our clients at a higher level, that's the right person for this group. So that's what we're doing as a mastermind. Obviously, we're going to want to launch one ideally by the end of May, which we've kind of set out. And we'll probably keep the first one small and then grow it over time. But yeah, so whatever their experience level is, or production level, either or are invited. They can reach out. Obviously, you can reach out to Mike and get more details and what have you, or hit any of us up. But yeah, that's the goal, man. It's the relationships too through this industry. It's like you and I, like, this is such a tough market. And I think a lot of times the differentiator is on some of these deals is Mike Price or somebody on his team makes an offer on a listing. That listing agent probably knows Mike, and they know he's professional. His team's been trained, and they get deals done. If 2 offers were equal, Mike's going to win all day long. So kind of the goal of this is building relationships, because it is it's a tough market out there, man, especially for agents working with buyers, it is grueling. So for any of us that can huddle up, share resources, learn together, that's what we're trying to do, and just build stronger relationships through, locally, which will also lead to national relationships.
Exactly, man. Collaboration over competition. It's
100%.
it's one of the probably one of the biggest reasons you and I are at where we are this year, blowing our numbers out of the water. And it's not because the market's so much stronger. It was strong last year. It was strong in 19. It's been strong. It's being around the right people and plugging in and getting a nugget here, and then implementing on a weekly basis, daily basis. That's the difference. And that's 100%. what it's all about, being in the right group, being in the right circle of people with abundance mindset, and everybody wants to grow. And when you do that and everybody will see that their business will go up as well. And so when we start doing these masterminds, it's going to be come all, anybody, any brokerage, confidential. They're not going to post your name on Facebook so your broker can see who you are. Just come and learn and see what we're doing, and see how the collaboration piece is the missing link here in the whole nationwide, but also just within the Atlanta area. There's not a lot of it unless you're really good friends with somebody, and they're still kind of like, I don't want to say everything, not yet. Yeah.
Well, I think of everything you just said, the one key point, which you did kind of point out there, was you can come to a mastermind, but it was the implementation. Like you and I have become expert implementers, right? Whatever the word is, that we can get all that information, take in all that knowledge, but if we're not deploying it, it's useless, right? The mastermind's useless. The key where I think both of you and I have succeeded in our businesses, have excelled so much, is because when we get the information, we immediately deploy it in our businesses. So implementation has been absolutely huge. So that's the point of these masterminds. First and foremost is to provide that information, but then help them understand the importance of deploying it, and honestly, how to deploy it, right?
Yeah.
And we have some new initiatives when the market swishes, like now, when cash is king and whatever else come out there, like, do you have a UVP for your company? So yeah, you nailed it on the head with the implementation, man. So from the mastermind, it's an abundance. You're going to learn a lot, but also the implementation of it's going to be like the key piece of it. So,
well, we will, as the month progresses and months progress on, you and I will start putting these masterminds out there and inviting all the people we know and making it public. And listen, man, I want to thank you for your time today, and appreciate you telling us all about the wonderful news in Cabo. We're going to definitely have to get down there on the next one for sure. I hate to miss it, but thanks a lot, buddy. And let's keep rocking.
Yeah, I'll end with one thing for you, Mike. And you said it. It's collaboration over competition. And we've said it a couple of times in the past, and we truly believe it is. Like, you can't compete with Mike and I because we want you to win also. So
that's right. Yeah. I mean, I'll give you everything I got. We're going the same listing appointment. The seller's going to pick who they want anyway.
Yep.
You win.
100%.
Congratulations. Keep moving. There's so much business out there. There's more than we can all get.
Yeah, abundance, baby. So, well, cool, brother. Thanks for the time, and I'm sure we'll be speaking soon.
All right, man. See you later.
All right, brother. Have a good one.